Some bands saved your life. Some just melted your fucking face. Behind every riff, there's a riot. Every era, a war zone of sound, ego, and evolution. This is the true, unfiltered story of heavy music. Told one breakdown, one burnout, one bloody bass line at a time. Welcome to Headbangers History, the podcast where legends rise, posers fall, and nothing sacred survives. So welcome to Headbangers History, the podcast version. I'm Fred Carroll. It's so much easier for me to just be here speaking to you rather than you having to look at my ugly fucking face. Unfortunately, you still gotta hear this raspy fucking voice. But who gives a shit? This is metal. This is metal. And today, this is the only show where punk rock snobs, hair metal glam gods, thrash freaks, and death metal goblins all get shoved into the same mosh pit. Because this week, we're dialing it back to the chaotic cradle of it all, 1980 to 1989. Oh, where was I? Where was I? Because I lived this. I absolutely lived this. I am 56 years old, which means 1980 to 89 were my glory years. The years where my kids didn't drive me fucking crazy, and the music was all that mattered. So the decade where punk split into 1,000 scenes, hairspray became war paint, thrash broke out of the garage, and death metal crawled up from the crypt. Today's episode is all about the punk side of that mess. The fights, the fury, the DIY albums that changed everything, and the ones that sounded like a demo recorded in a microwave. This is where we begin. This is where we're going to start with punk rock, from hardcore breakdowns to post-punk weirdness to the raw fangs of crossover. We're diving into the punk evolution of the 80s. So grab your leather, find the nearest wall to slam into, because Headbangers History, Punk 80 to 89, starts right fucking now. In 1982, a guy got his nose broken during a Minor Threat show in a church basement. All he said was thanks.
Break my nose twice.
But meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Black Flag's van broke down 3 times on the way to a gig.
My word! Yo, what are them to say? You're my friend for sure!
They played anyway, bloody, shirtless, and broke. And then in New York, the Cro-Mags were inventing music you could bench press to. With lyrics like a prison manifesto. Hardcore punk didn't ask for permission. It didn't give a shit about Billboard charts, pretty vocals, or any radio play. It was a DIY, anti-everything, and built to destroy everything that came before it. No glam. No solos. No fucking power ballads.
Hey, hey, baby, tell me what's your name. From the way you look and the way you dress, I can tell you.
So welcome to Headbangers Yearbook, Hardcore Punk, 1980 to 1989. It's short. It's violent. It's one big middle finger to the Reagan years.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
Fuck him! We don't need an actor!
Tear down this wall.
Forget the Sex Pistols. Forget the fashion shows.
I am an antichrist.
Hardcore punk was the second wave. It was faster. It was angrier. And twice as broke.
You got no clothes, you got no money.
It wasn't just music. This was a fucking movement. It was war. Let's talk about Washington, D.C., the birth of righteous fury. You got Minor Threat. Formed in 1980, they played fast, preached clean, invented straight edge, whether they meant to or not.
In 1980, I wrote a song called Straight Edge. and I coined the phrase straight edge. But the song that I wrote was a song that was about an individual to have the right they have to choose how he or she wants to live their life.
I'm a person just like you, but I've got better things to do. That line caused more fights than you can count. Bad Brains, a black band from DC playing faster than the white kids, and better. 'Cause HR was a maniac. Live shows looked like riots with amps. ROIR cassette, 1982, is a hardcore cornerstone. Also dropped reggae jams between breakdowns, just a flex. SOA, government issue. Void, all part of the Discord Records family. It was DIY to the bone. Flyers made with glue sticks, albums pressed with borrowed cash. Seen unity? Sometimes. Seen violence? Absolutely every time. Let's head over to Boston where the boots, buzz cuts, and the beatdowns. SSD, the kids will have their say, 1982. It's fast, it's raw, it's fucking aggressive. Sounded like a trash can on fire. DYS, Jerry's Kids. Negative FX.
I don't give a shit. What the fuck you're for? Like a man.
Boston shows were brutal. Straight edge started to look more like a gang than a lifestyle. Unity often meant you're either with us or you're out. Let's talk about the coastal split, 1983 to 86. Hardcore had regional dialects. Different cities, different sounds, same rage. On the West Coast, Wild, Broken, and Shirtless was Black Flag. Greg Ginn's guitar sounded like a panic attack. Rollins joined in 1981. They toured nonstop in a van that barely ran. Damaged in 1981 is basically a philosophy degree in emotional breakdowns. You're not hardcore unless you've slept in a gas station parking lot and screamed into a mic with a black eye. Then there's the Circle Jerks. Group Sex, 1980. Keith Morris brought the snare. He brought the speed and the sarcasm.
When you open it, you'll be through.
14 songs, 15 minutes. That's not an album. It's a fucking mugging. Dead Kennedys. Jello Biafra, part comedian, part prophet, part pissed off punk preacher. Fresh fruit from rotting vegetables in 1980 equals an anarchist Bible. Songs about cops, Nazis, yuppies, fascists, all wrapped into surf riffs and sarcasm. Then you had the TSOL. You had Fear. What about the Germs? Adolescence. And the amazing Agent Orange. The LA OC scene was chaotic, often violent, and weirdly artistic. You could get stabbed at a show and discover your favorite band. In New York, you had the Concrete Hammer. NYHC, New York hardcore scene, wasn't just music. It was a gym rat rage with gang mentality. Short hair, big boots, brutal pits. Agnostic Front, Victims in Pain in 1984. rough, raw, unforgiving. Stigma's riffs equal caveman genius. They basically created East Coast hardcore toughness. You had the Cro-Mags, The Age of Quarrel in '86. This album doesn't age. It still sounds like a riot breaking out in a prison gym. Hare Krishna lyrics, hardcore riffs, metal chugs, punk speed. They crossed over before crossover was even a word. But then you had the youth of today. You had Warzone. Don't forget Leeway.
I think you should shake his head. Ain't nobody did Robin Hood.
And the amazing Murphy's Law. New York City became a boot camp for hardcore. Push-ups, veganism, fights, stage dives from amps. Let's talk about some of the crossover and move into the '86-'89 era. Because by the mid to late 80s, hardcore started mutating. Some kids were getting faster, some were getting heavier, and some, they were getting out. You had the crossover kids. Hardcore and metal started eyeing each other like angry cousins. My favorite, DRI, Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. Crossover 1987. Literally named the genre. Double kick drums, punk vocals. Fans with Mohawks and Metallica shirts finally moshed in the same pit. You had the Suicidal Tendencies. Joined the Army 1987. L.A. skate punks turned gang metal lord.
Suicidal Tendencies is a controversial band of thrash punks who have been unable to play in their native Los Angeles for the last 5 years. The band's 1985 shows were marred by violence, and fearing more problems, concert promoters had declined to book any more Suicidal Tendencies shows.
Mike Muir invented the cholo punk look. Bandana, high socks, death stare. Corrosion of Conformity, COC. Went from hardcore to sludge metal in real time. Go listen to Animosity in 1985, and you could hear their transforming mid-album. Then you had The Accused. You had the Crumbsuckers, Excel, and then one of my favorite, Ludacris. Thrash, punk, skate, all mashed into one sweaty, explosive mess. You couldn't tell where the genre ended or where it began, and that was the point. There was a fragmentation, because not everyone liked the shift. Some said hardcore was selling out, some doubled down on ethics, others went even more raw. Straight edge became militant. Bands like Judge and Project X turned clean living into moral warfare. Hoods, chains, vegan zines.
Vegan?
Don't smoke.
Okay.
Don't drink.
We were drinking.
Don't fuck.
Fuck no.
And if you do, we're coming for you. Post-hardcore was born. Fugazi emerged in '87. No more thrashing. Now it was dynamics, art, tension, restraint. Hardcore with a brain, but with a slow burn. Grindcore started bubbling up. Napalm Death dropped Scum in '87. Hardcore speed meets death metal terror. Songs shorter than your attention span. You Suffer, a real song, lasts 1.316 seconds, shortest track ever recorded. Let's talk about the style and the scene and the whole spirit of everything. Because hardcore wasn't just a genre. It was a survival tactic. No money, no major labels, 0 managers, just vans, basements, sweat, and passion. The code seemed to be DIY or die, no posers, no fascists, respect the pit, and stay true or stay out. If you wore the wrong band shirt, you'd get clowned. If you jumped the stage and didn't jump off, you'd get thrown off. Hardcore shows weren't concerts. They were release valves, a therapy session for the community, and occasionally a free dental adjustment. But the end of the 80s, there was an aftershock, because by 1989, hardcore wasn't dead. It just split into 1,000 different directions. Some bands went metal. Think Cro-Mags, COC. Dirty Rotten Imbeciles. Some went emotional, like Fugazi and Rites of Spring. Many of them burned out. Some turned into legacy acts before turning 25. But that DNA spread. It spread to grunge, which was built on hardcore disillusionment, metalcore, born from crossover chaos, emo, straight-edge kids discovering feelings, and punk revival in the 90s, 100% standing on the shoulders of early hardcore. So hardcore didn't die. It infected everything, and it still does today. So, tell me what's the greatest hardcore album of the 80s? Tell me who had the most violent pit you've ever been in. And is Fugazi still punk if they won't sell shirts? Do me a favor, drop it in the comments. Tell us your first basement show. Tell us who knocked your teeth out. And tell me if you thanked them. But this was Headbangers Yearbook. Hardcore punk 1980 to 1989. Alright, that's enough fucking floor punching for one single day. But we're peeling off the leather jacket, wiping off the sweat. We're gonna step into something way shinier. Because while punk was screaming in squad houses, another beast was being born under neon lights and a metric ton of hairspray. It's time for teased hair. It's time for spandex and guitar solos so dramatic they should have come with subtitles. And if you want the full ride, the visual, the riffs, and all, just hit the Headbangers History YouTube channel. 'Cause the next stop is hair metal. In 1987, David Lee Roth...
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut.
David Lee Roth flew through the air
To go.
in assless chaps.
What? Well, let me roll up onto the side.
Meanwhile, Bret Michaels was writing ballads with eyeliner thicker than his morals. And over on the Sunset Strip, 1,000 dudes in leopard pants were fighting over one single bottle of Aquanet.
Hold hair longer, hold hair stronger with Bold Hold. New Bold Hold is the ultimate power hold. It's wild.
Hair metal wasn't subtle, but it was horny, it was hormonal, and it was fucking everywhere.
I'm gonna make you mine. Don't close your eyes.
spandex, smoke machines, teased hair, questionable decisions, and more cocaine than common sense.
I do coke so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can...
So welcome to Headbangers Yearbook Hair Metal 1980 to 1989. Let's hairspray our brain cells into oblivion. Let's talk about the rise when glam got loud. This was 1980 to 1984. It started in the gutters of L.A. Clubs like the Whiskey and the Roxy were breeding grounds for rockers with zero shame and 5 cans of hairspray per rehearsal. Glam wasn't new. You had Bowie.
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Gilly.
You had T-Rex. The New York Dolls, they laid the mascara-covered groundwork in the 70s.
I always saw you just before the dawn, when all the other kids had just dragging along.
But the 80s brought the distortion. The 80s brought the attitude. And it sure did bring the sleaze. Mötley Crüe forms in 1981. Sure, they look like drag queens possessed by demons, but the fans fucking loved it. Their debut, Too Fast for Love, was a trashy glam punk sucker punch. But it was Shout at the Devil in 1983. That lit the fire. Suddenly, Satan had eyeliner and a cocaine budget. Across the street, Ratt was perfecting the sleaze hook. Quiet Riot was going full throttle on arena choruses. Metal Health goes #1, the first metal record to ever do it. Boom! The hairspray floodgates burst. Twisted Sister. Dockin'. Great White, Lita Ford. Keel. All sharpening their hooks and strapping on the leather. Lita Ford was the queen of glam's early scene, and criminally underrated. Gotta Let Go in 1984 still rips harder than most dudes from the era. And then there was MTV. Oh, MTV. Fucking loved this era. You had to look good, or at least look like something. Sparkly scarves? Check. Fishnet gloves? Sure, why not? Jumpsuits that looked like rejected lingerie from an alien sex cult? Obviously. Van Halen was never full glam, but Roth's sex god circus ringleader shtick gave the genre permission to hump everything that moved. He was shirtless in half the videos, oiled up like a rotisserie chicken, doing splits off a speaker stack. And you could hear millions of teenage boys across America say, yeah, I could do that. By 1984, glam had cash, coke, and control.
Have you ever sustained serious injuries?
Janie was laying on the floor, and Joey came up and got on top of him, and Janie had his mic right here. Joey squatted down and pinned something like his, his tool.
And Janie hit a high note.
Very high note.
The worst pain I ever felt in my life, and I ran upstage and I pulled my pants down and there was blood everywhere, and I went, oh my God, I'm never gonna have kids. They rushed me to the hospital and it turned out it was okay and everything. I don't even have any scars. You want to check? No, I'm joking.
The nurse kept saying, you know, who bit you? Who bit you? Are you in a bondage?
They
or
kept
what?
thinking it was like
We're like, no, he just happened on stage.
She goes, this is a human bite. And I said, it's not a human bite, I swear.
Can I change the subject very quickly
Her
now?
name was Jaws.
Hey, we're Keel, and you're Hello, we're Keel. What was it?
Greatest vocalist, indeed the greatest quasi-religious figure of the 20th century, can only be Don Ho.
That's right, Tom, Don Ho. And when you think of Don Ho, what else do you think of? That's right, Hawaii. And when you think of Hawaii, there's no denying the Headbangers Ball escaped from the long cold winter with Cinderella contest. One winner and a guest, we rocketed to the unspoiled tropical paradise of Hawaii. Tell them about it, Tom.
Get a tan, meet the band, and if you're lucky, sell personal items to the locals for 10 times what they're worth.
The look was loud, the fans obsessed, and the labels absolutely fucking drooling. And the hair defying gravity and defying God. This wasn't rock and roll. This was rock and roll and drag with a shot of Jack and a heart on. But the deep cut of the early era, in my opinion, I say check out Rough Cut's self-titled album in 1985. Ronnie James Dio produced it. It's glam with bite, and no one remembers it. That's your hipster flex right there. So by 85, glam wasn't just a scene. It was a marketing plan. The makeup got thicker, the songs got sappier, and every band wanted to be both dangerous and dateable. But next, we're going to talk about the golden era, where the aqua was thick and the ego was thicker. Yeah, so look, you know, punk and hair metal couldn't look more different on the surface. One's bleeding in the basement while the other's posing on a limo. They were both rebellions, just aimed in opposite directions. Both raw, both loud, both middle fingers to whatever came before. And in the 80s, they shaped the battlefield. So if you want more of this madness, do me a favor, hit the Headbangers History YouTube channel. Full episodes, visuals, the whole damn thing. Everything you want. And next week, on the podcast, we're lighting the fuse. Thrash and death metal. The two genres that took everything louder, faster, much uglier, and turned it into an art form. No rules, no radio, no survivors. That's next on Headbangers History. So as every week, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything you do for me. I want to make this my full-time gig. It is my full-time gig, honestly. But I need you. I need subscriptions. I need you guys to like. I need you to share. So do me a favor. Hit the buttons. Share with your friends. Because metal is a unity. We're all in this together. And I know I don't mention every band you wish I mentioned at every single time. It's more difficult than it seems. But I'm doing my best. And I'm Fred Carroll. This is Headbangers History. And I will see you next week.